Welcome to Suuthing Talks with Suzanne Lead. Today we have Quick Chat Feedback. Quick Chat Feedback is a segment where I take questions, I answer them, and then I ask for your feedback. Today's question is very interesting. It will address an issue that many young people are having. So let's jump right into it.
Oh Lord! You want the choppiness out there? Way!
Welcome to Quick Chat Feedback. So the question that I have today is from a 19 soon to be 20-year-old. My parents treat me as if I'm a child. I'm a young adult. How do I get them to stop? First of all, how are they treating you like a child? Some of the examples that I've gotten were, oh, well, I have to tell them everything I'm doing. I have to tell them where I'm at. I have to tell them where I'm going. I have to tell them, nobody else does that. Well, here's a news flash. Everybody else does that. We are living in a time where there are a lot of things that are uncertain, and whether it's a girl child or a boy child, you still want to know where your child is. You still want to know what they're doing, who they're with, because it's a safety issue. And as a parent, that's what you're going to want to do. A lot of times, females think that, oh, well, boys get away with this and boys don't have to do that. That's not true, because as a parent of boy children, you are worried. You're worried about, them driving. You're worried about them being stopped by police. You're worried about them getting into fights. You're worried about all sorts of different things when they're out and about. In terms of, going out and not having to tell your parent where you're going or who you're with or what you're doing. I mean, you may feel like that's something that is just specifically to you because your parent is doing, quote unquote, too much. But that's not really the case, because all parents are doing it because you're concerned. Let me just give you a secret. When you guys are out partying, we don't really sleep well because you don't know what's happening. You are, wanting to make sure everything is okay. And it's a natural thing. It's a thing that all parents go through. I go through it. All parents go through it. You are now becoming an adult. It's the beginning. So you have to give your parent a chance to see your consistency, to see that you are responsible, to see that you're not going to be in, any type of crazy trouble or mishap or anything of that nature. It's an experience. So you have to, the same way that you're going through the experience, you have to be patient with your parents because they're going through the experience. So that is in terms of going out and having to check in and tell your parents where you are and what you're doing. That's a responsible thing to do, period. Because as an adult, that's something that you need to do. That's part of being an adult, being accountable and communicating. So you're communicating where you are and you're being accountable to letting them know who you're with, how you're getting there, etc., etc. As you get to 20, 21, 22, 23, the consistency, the experiences, things get better. Okay, in terms of that. So let's go to the second part of this question. It seems as though you want to be treated as an adult, but you still behave like a child. So therefore, parents revert to treating you like a child. So you're going to say, all right, what does that mean? How am I acting like a child? If I have to constantly tell you to do things that you're responsible for doing, then you're behaving like a child. No one has to tell me to get up, get ready, go to work, and be there on time and do the best so that I can be in good standing with my job. These are things as an adult you're driven to do. When you have to be reminded, when you have to be told, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't finish that, you didn't do that, you didn't do that, is you acting as a child. So if you're going to behave like a child, then they're going to treat you like a child. Secondly, how responsible are you? Now, if you are showing your parent responsibility where you are doing what you need to do, you're going to school, you're going to work, you're doing what you have to do around the house without being told, you're self-driven, you are taking care of your bills, where you're really and truthfully not really asking for so much from your parents in terms of financially, and you may also be maybe even contributing to a bill or two in the house or groceries or something. Those things show parents responsibility. They show parents that you are taking the initiative to be consistent. You are driven to do the right thing. There's an open line of communications where you're saying, hey, I'm going here with such and such. And it's not something that has to be pulled out of you. See, when you have those types of behaviors, parents, especially when they're consistent, parents start letting go, because then they realize, hey, I don't have to badger. They now start treating you like they would another adult that's not their child. So that's the type of transition that you want. You want to have open communication with your parents about what you're doing, when you're doing it. If you tell them, hey, after work, I'm going to hang out with some of my coworkers, and then, you call them from wherever you are and say, hey, I'm on my way home. These are things that are responsible. They're not just checking in because, oh, you don't know who I'm with, or you don't trust me, or you think I'm doing something crazy. No, they are. It's showing them that you're being responsible to let them know what's going on, because anything can happen. Look at it as you're being accountable as an adult. You're not checking in as a child. And I think if you embrace that whole concept, then checking in and this type of communication would not be so bittersweet. I just think that a lot of young adults are looking at it negatively, and it's not a negative thing. Just think about it. When your parent is not around, there is no mystery as to where they are. They're usually telling you, hey, after work, I'm going to go do such and such, or I'm going to go pick something up, or I'm going to stop to get something to eat. So they're checking in with you. It's the same thing that they're expecting you to do. So instead of looking at it as some sort of punishment, or they don't trust you, or, oh my gosh, they're not allowing me to grow up, think about it as the same way that they check in with you, they're expecting you as an adult to be accountable and check in with them. Because it's just about safety. It's just about knowing where the person is. There's nothing wrong with that. Certain things that you want your parents to stop, like asking you where you are, or wanting you to have an open line of communication with them, especially when you're not in the house, or you're driving, or you're with friends, etc. It's late, you're partying, whatever. That's not going to happen. Once you live under somebody else's roof, you have to be accountable. Adults are accountable. Adults have consequences. Adults have priorities. Adults have responsibilities. So part of being an adult is to be accountable for your whereabouts and having an open line of communication. It's just something that you have to learn, because when you become somebody's wife or somebody's husband, you have to do it. So you have to learn it somehow from transitioning from being, a teenager into a young adult. It has to happen naturally, organically, so that when you're in a relationship, you don't have a problem telling somebody where you're at. This is just the premise of you being in a long-term relationship, hopefully a marriage, and this is how you have to do it. Open lines of communication and accountability for your actions, okay? That's just what that is. Secondly, you have to be responsible with your actions in terms of you have something to do it, and do it consistently. Okay, you do it consistently. Your parent is going to understand that they don't have to nag you, they don't have to remind you, and they're going to organically, again, start treating you like they would any other adult. So if you want them to stop, be responsible, have an open line of communication. Stop thinking that what they're doing is to control you, because it's not to control you. Understand that this transition, you have to be accountable, you have to be open, you have to be consistent, and you have to be responsible. These are growing pains. That is my answer. You may not like it, but it is the truth. I'm talking to you from a professional and a parent point of view. So hopefully, if you found this information valuable or helpful, even though you might not like it, it is helpful. Please like the video. Again, subscribe and turn on your notifications so that when Quick Chat Feedback drops new content, you'll be the first one to see it. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, be safe and secure.